Hello everybody, this is Louis and welcome to another episode of Real Reviews by Loukprop. So today we'll be doing real reviews for one of the most requested projects by far, Dairy Farm Residences located in District 23. And as you can see, we're in a very different location today. This is Genzo, one of my favorite Japanese restaurants in Singapore. And I think it's quite a new change of environment. I'm excited to go through the real reviews today, so let's get to it. Now if you're new here, we usually use these 5 major factors when we are doing these real reviews. Number 1, location and connectivity. Number 2, development quality and facilities. Number 3, competitive pricing. Number 4, rental yield. And last but not least, stack selection. Right, so for the first point. First point, location and connectivity. Now if we were to look at Dairy Farm and where it is right now, it is located in District 23. It is built on an inverted L-shaped piece of land, as you can see right here, and it's bounded by the roads Petier Road and Dairy Farm Road. Alright, and it is actually right beside the German European School, Singapore. Now you can see that BK is just a short drive away from Dairy Farm Residences. So distance to town is about 30 minutes or more if you want to go to town or downtown. So in terms of accessibility, it's not exactly the nearest, because also if you were to look at the nearest MRT station, you can see that it is at Hillview MRT. Now Hillview MRT, if you were to take a short walk from Dairy Farm Residences, it will take about 14 to 15 minutes time to walk all the way from Dairy Farm Residences to Hillview MRT station. So if you want to say that it's a very long distance, it's not exactly that long, but it's not a very short walk either. In terms of shopping and dining, right, the nearest ones would have to be currently built, which is Hill V2 and also Rail Mall here. A little bit further than the MRT station, it's about a 20 minutes walk away, so not the most convenient of places. If you really want an actual nice big mall, you will have to take about 2 MRT stations away down to Bukit Panjang area, where you can see Hillian Mall is right here. Right, but having said that, I think residents of Dairy Farm Residences will find some solace in the fact that this is actually a mixed development, which means that there will be a 2-story mall built right below the residential component. This mall will include things like food court, supermarket, F&B, and many more retail stores. So whatever daily necessities that you need should be right at your doorstep. Now what people will really like about the location is its proximity to nature, right? This is a very quiet, serene, peaceful area, because you can see that surrounding it, we have Bukit Timah Nature Reserve here, Zhenghua Park here, and also Chestnut Nature Park here, right beside this central catchment area. So a lot of people will like this area purely for own stay, because you like to be around nature. It's a very short drive or walk to all these nature parks. And some of the marketing materials might even state that there's an unblocked view all around Dairy Farm Residences, which for now is still true. But for the foreseeable future, we can't say that this will be a permanent thing in terms of its unblocked greenery view. Why? Because if you were to take a look at the URA master plan, this is Dairy Farm Residences. As you can see, the plot ratio is 2.1. In the future, you can see that the plots right beside Dairy Farm Residences around here and also here are zoned for residential. This means in the future, there might be more residential units being built up around Dairy Farm Residences that might be a little bit taller than 5 stories high, or exactly the same height as Dairy Farm Residences, thereby blocking your view if you were to be buying a unit that you think it's the most unblocked view. So if you were to buy this area based on its unblocked greenery views, I would urge you to reconsider some of our unit choices and be very careful when choosing units in Dairy Farm Residences. In terms of potential growth and transformation in the area, I would say, my personal opinion, that there's really not much worth mentioning. Some of the materials might mention the Tengah transformation there, might mention some of the new gardens they are building around there, or even the Beauty World Integrated Transport Hub. But I feel like these transformations are too far away from the Dairy Farm area, the Dairy Farm Residences area, to be even worth saying that it will help to boost the value up any more significantly than what it currently is. So in summary, although the area is a really quiet, really serene area, a good environment for own stay, but there's a lack of any growth areas in the area, coupled with the fact that one of the biggest selling points of unblocked greenery might not be that true in the future. So for its score of location and connectivity, my score is 2.5/5. Next, development quality and facilities. Now, as I said earlier on, Dairy Farm Residences is an integrated project, which means that there's a 460-unit residential component and also a retail component on the basement level and the first story. Right? You can see here that these are the shops that will be leased out, including a supermarket, food court, childcare, and other retail and F&B. Right? As for the residential blocks, there will be 2 blocks of 5 stories and 2 blocks of 15 stories residential component. And for the car park lots, there are a total of 532 lots, including 460 one-to-one car park lots for the residents and also 72 retail car park lots. As for the retail shops, it will be a developer-managed mall, which is much better than a strata-titled mall because the mall will be better managed, better maintained, and also has a wider and more diverse pool of tenants. The developer for this project is actually United Engineers, which is easily one of Singapore's oldest firms, right? Started off in 1912, if I'm not wrong. They have a depth of experience not many developers can claim to have. They were also part of some of the most iconic landmarks in Singapore, including the former Supreme Court, Kavanagh Bridge, British Commission, right, and OCBC Centre even. They also have footprints in commercial malls like Rochester Mall and Seletar Mall. In terms of residential projects, they were also a part of projects like Essential Sky, 8 River Suites, Coven Melody, or even Ostville Residences EC, among many others. However, one thing to note is that with such depth and experience in the market, they haven't had a residential property that has been awarded with the BCA quality mark yet. Alright, its most recent condo built in 2016, which is 8 River Suites, actually achieved the Conquest score, if you remember Conquest, right? Conquest score of 88. And if you can see here, they got a Conquest score of 88.8, but the national average at that point of time was about 91, so slightly below the national average. Moving on to the development, design and facilities. Now let's take a look first at the site plan. You can see here, one thing I really like about this development is that the residential component, which is here, is separated from the main facilities, which is here at the lower part of this shape, right? So one thing good about this is that most of the noise pollution from facilities, kids playing down there, people swimming around and making a lot of noise, is actually separated from where people stay, the residential component. There's only maybe a few facilities there, which is this portion. This is your 15-meter lap pool. For the more serious and avid swimmers, you can actually be around the 15-meter lap pool to have your laps, right? To swim your laps. Another pool around here is this 83 meters, roughly 83 meters lifestyle pool. And this pool actually includes pools like the kids pool, aqua gym, spa pools, lifestyle pools, so on and so forth. So this entire development even has a gym, alright, there's a clubhouse, many BBQ grills, function rooms and many more. Basically a full facilities project. To summarize, on the plus side, there's no doubt that this developer is very experienced and has a long history in Singapore. Even when we are looking at the site plan and the facilities, I feel like the facilities are in a very, very good position. The residential blocks are positioned really well because there's really mostly north-south direction facing. You have all the facilities you need in this project as well. However, this developer has yet to develop something that has been awarded the BCA quality mark, and although it's not a really big thing, it's something for you to consider as well. So overall, I feel like, in my opinion, the score I would give development quality and facilities will be 3.5/5. Next, competitive pricing. Now for the area around Dairy Farm Residences, there aren't a lot of new launches, so it's pretty hard to do an apple-to-apple comparison. The only one that we can really compare with is the Midwood over here, alright, which is very near to Hillview MRT, and also I'll be going through Verdale, which is at District 21, a little bit lower at Beauty World area, and I'll show you that later. But let's get into Midwood first. So for Midwood, which is on the map, you can see it here, let's take a look at its pricing. Now Midwood pricing, you can see, is between 1,005 to 1,007 plus per square feet. What about Verdale? Verdale is actually here, Let me just pull it down all the way to the Beauty World side. And you can see Verdale is at this location, nearer to the Beauty World integrated transport hub transformation going to happen soon. And Verdale right now currently is transacting at a price between 1,006 to 1,008 plus per square foot. What about Dairy Farm Residences? Now, Dairy Farm Residences right now is pretty much the same price as Midwood. Dairy Farm Residences is transacting at a price between 1,005 plus to 1,007 plus per square foot. So if you were to do this comparison, if I were to compare between Midwood, which is also between 1,005 plus to 1,007 plus, same as Dairy Farm Residences, and Verdale Residences, which is just slightly more expensive at 1,006 to 1,008 plus per square foot, I would easily choose Verdale or Midwood over Dairy Farm Residences because of the similarity in price, but in much better locations than Dairy Farm Residences. Perhaps the bigger story though is that in District 23, historically projects launched in the last 10 years for this District 23 area hasn't made much capital gains over the last few years. If we were to compare projects like Forest, right? Forest, Skywoods, Forest Residences here, Treehouse Residences, Eco Sanctuary, even Skywoods here. These are projects that were launched in the last 10 years. And if we were to look at their price growth, you can see the price hasn't grown. Eco Sanctuary price hasn't really grown. Skywoods hasn't grown, might even went down. Treehouse as well hasn't really grown over the last few years. So if historical evidence is any proof of future performances as well, in my opinion, Dairy Farm Residences really doesn't have much to sell on in terms of capital gain potential. So in conclusion, if you're buying purely for own stay and you find the price justifiable, then go for it. But if you're buying it for investment purposes, then I would urge you to reconsider your decision to buy Dairy Farm Residences. So the overall score for this would be 2.5 over 5. Now we are into rental yield. So we are comparing between all these built condos that are pretty new still, not the oldest ones there. And I mentioned them earlier on: Forest, Eco Sanctuary, Skywoods, and Treehouse. So if you look at their rental volume within the last 12 months, isn't too bad. Between 60 to 100 rental volume in a single year. That is probably within 18 to 20% of their entire condos being rented out. But let's take a look at their prices. If you can see, Forest is between 2,000 to 2,500, 2,000 to 2,500. Eco Sanctuary is between 2,001 to 2,800. Skywoods similarly is between 2,000 to 2,700. And Treehouse is about 2,000 to 2,005, right, on a per month basis. So if we were to conservatively have an average for the rental per month for all these projects, it will be between 2,001 to probably 2,006 per month. Now, using these as the monthly rental, right, because we always want to be conservative when we are estimating rental, right? Using 2001 to 2006, if we were to use a purchase price of around average 1.15 million for the 2-bedders in Dairy Farm Residences, we would get a rental yield of between 2 to 2.9% rental yield, which isn't too bad because we are always aiming between 2 to 3% or even higher for a project. So getting that 2 to 2.9% is really quite okay, right? As a newer project, we also can expect higher rental in the future as well when it's being built. So my score for rental yield here will be 3 over 5. So last point, stack selection. If you look at the site plan here, right, most of the units are in the north-south kind of direction, about 90% of them are. So there will be minimal west sun to most of these units. The only ones that will have some west sun or direct west sun into the unit will be stacks 35, 36, 41, and 42. As for the rest of the stacks, they may have unblocked greenery views for now, but as I mentioned earlier on, if you look at the master plan, there may be more projects that are similar height springing up around Dairy Farm Residences in years to come. So I wouldn't count on the unblocked greenery views as an advantage just yet. Certain units will be actually facing the football field, which could be an upside for some people if you are talking about a certainty in an unblocked view in the future. But it could be a downside for other people who actually mind the kind of football feel lights that are very strong, or they mind like having football games right in front of them every now and then. For units facing Petir Road, because they are facing directly east, they will have morning sun coming into the unit. This may not be such a big problem for most people as compared to west sun, but it's good to note that this is actually happening in these units facing Petir Road. With these in mind, in my opinion, these are the ideal stacks, the average stacks, and the not so ideal stacks. So my score for stack selection will be 3/5. So gathering all the scores from the various segments, the overall score for Dairy Farm Residences is 2.9/5. So I hope this review has been helpful for you, and if you are interested in checking out our last real reviews, which is the Water Gardens at Canberra, you can click on this video to check out more. What other condos do you want us to review? Leave it down in the comment section below. And if you found this content useful, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you in the next real review. Bye!